Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, the #1 place to learn about money from someone that teaches about money every day. I'm Jennifer, personal finance educator and money expert. And when we're not on this channel talking about your money, we're working with businesses to improve employee financial literacy and wellness. Today, we're going to talk about the 50-30-20 budget, one of the simplest budgeting methods out there that will help you grow your savings and retirement nest egg. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 50-30-20 budgeting rule and its pros and cons. And if you stay until the end of the video, you'll even be able to easily create your own 50-30-20 budget with our free spreadsheet template. We've included the link for the budgeting template below this video. For those of you new to Diamond Nest Egg, we're here every week with a new money-saving, wealth-building video. So if you're interested in learning about saving, investing, insurance, and retirement, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Let's get started with the 50-30-20 budget, where you allocate your after-tax income to 3 separate buckets. After-tax income is basically your take-home pay, the amount that actually hits your bank account every month. And these 3 separate buckets that you allocate your after-tax income to are your needs, your wants, and your savings plus debt repayments. So let's talk about the first bucket, needs. 50% of your after-tax income is allocated to your needs. Needs are the day-to-day expenses that you have to pay no matter what. Let's take Morgan's 50-30-20 budget as an example. As you can see here, needs include things such as rent, utilities, transportation, minimum loan repayments, insurance, and basic food and clothing. Since Morgan's after-tax income is $3,800, 50% of that is $1,900. So this means she has $1,900 to spend on her needs. The second bucket in the 50-30-20 budget is wants. 30% of your after-tax income is allocated to wants, and in Morgan's case, this translates to $1,140. Generally speaking, wants are the extras, the nice-to-haves that are not essential to daily life and work. Wants could include things such as subscriptions, eating out, entertainment, tech upgrades, taxis, travel, groceries, and clothing. Figuring out what's a need and what's a want isn't always easy and can differ from one individual to another. You can see from Morgan's illustration, groceries and clothing are under both needs and wants. That's because there's a certain basic level of groceries and clothing that we need to survive in society. This basic level of groceries and food that we need to subsist goes under needs. Think along the lines of bread, rice, vegetables, or undergarments. The level of groceries and clothing that fall under wants are more along the lines of stuff like caviar and truffles, or when it comes to clothing, Louis Vuitton, Prada, and Gucci. Likewise, for transportation, there is a minimum level of transportation you need to get you to and from work and to and from your social activities. That goes under need. And then there are the taxis you take because you're just too lazy or you're just plain tired and you don't want to walk. That is a want. So when you think about your spending in the categories of food, clothing, and transportation, really be honest with yourself. What do you need and what do you want? Now that we've covered needs, the 50%, and wants, the 30%, we're going to move on to the third bucket in the 50-30-20 budget, and that is savings plus debt repayment. 20% of your after-tax income is allocated to savings and debt repayment. Again, going back to our example, 20% of Morgan's after-tax income works out to be $760. Savings can include an emergency fund, travel fund, house fund, or any other savings, investment, or retirement accounts. And debt repayment can include items such as credit card debt, student loans, personal loans, car loans, and any other type of outstanding debt. Just as groceries, clothing, and transportation, plus the taxis, went under both needs and wants, debt also goes under 2 categories. As you can see here, we have minimum monthly loan payments under needs. That's because this is the amount you have to pay your lenders every month, no matter what. If you don't, it will have a very, very bad impact on your credit score and limit your future borrowing opportunities. The debt that goes under the third bucket, however, the 20% for savings and debt repayment, this refers to any debt payments that are above and beyond your minimum monthly loan payments that are categorized under needs. The debt amounts in this third bucket are what will help you accelerate your debt payoff strategy and eventually live a debt-free life. Why do folks like the 50-30-20 budget? Reason number one, because it's so simple. You just take your after-tax income and multiply it by 0.5, 0.3, or 0.2, and you have the exact number that you can spend on your needs, wants, and savings plus debt repayment. Easy, right? You don't have to track every single category like you do with other budgeting methods. Reason number two for the popularity of the 50-30-20 budgeting method is because you get fun money. When you're working on your financial goals and budgeting, it's easy to fall into the all or nothing mindset, kind of like when you go on a diet. And then you forget to allocate money for the fun stuff in your life. The 50-30-20 budget has built-in fun money that you can use for shopping, going to the movies, or anything else you want. Have you tried the 50-30-20 budget before? Let us know in the comments below, and if you have, let us know what you think about it. So why doesn't everyone use it? Well, as you guys often hear me say on this channel, there's pros and cons to everything in life. And when it comes to the 50-30-20 budget, the first con is that it may not work for you if you live in a high cost area like New York, San Francisco, or Seattle. Very often, just our clients' rent alone in these areas is about 50% of their income. This doesn't leave much room for heat to keep you warm, food to keep you fed, and clothes to put on your back, or a cell phone with good reception to watch your YouTube videos on. But seriously, our clients who live in these high cost of living cities, their needs already take up 60 to 70% of their after-tax income, no matter how much they try to save. The second negative to the 50-30-20 budgeting method is that it doesn't really work well if you have significant amounts of debt. If you have lots of debt outstanding, putting 20% of your after-tax income towards saving and debt may simply not be enough to ever get you debt-free. You may need to put 25% or 30% of your after-tax income, possibly even more, towards savings and debt repayment, which means you'll have to lower the percentage of your after-tax income that you allocate to the first two buckets of needs and wants. So if you find that you fall into either one of these groups, you live in a high cost of living area or you have a lot of debt, but you still like the premise and the ease of the 50-30-20 budget, you'll need to play around with the percentages a little bit until you come up with an allocation that works for you, whether it's 60-20-20 or 30-30-40 or some other combination. Drawback number three to the 50-30-20 budget is this. If you are living paycheck to paycheck or already struggling to save, this budget is simply too relaxed. You don't have enough clarity on where every dollar is going. So for those of you that are not already disciplined savers, this 30% wants number can quickly creep up higher and higher to the point where you're piling on even more debt. Listen, this budget is a great start, but it's simply not as structured or as detailed as a zero-based budget, so money leaks tend to happen more often. If you want to learn more about zero-based budgeting and how it's different from the 50-30-20 budget, and how the zero-based budgeting can really help you save, you can take a look at our video over here. It walks through what a zero-based budget is, the pros and cons, as well as a step-by-step tutorial on how to create one with our downloadable budgeting template. And for those of you that are more app people versus spreadsheet people, you can check out our video here on the top budgeting apps in 2021. We reviewed over 20 apps and chose the top 4 winners, including the best free app, the best app for zero-based budgeters, the best app for overspenders, as well as the best app for envelope budgeting. If you're like us though, and prefer spreadsheets when it comes to your money, Let's keep going and dive into this 50-30-20 budgeting template we've created just for you. As I mentioned earlier, you can download this budgeting template via the link below this video. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. YouTube loves it when you show us some love. It also really helps in pushing this video out to more financially savvy folks like yourself who are looking to get their finances on track this year. So thanks, we really appreciate it. So after you've downloaded the budgeting sheet, click on the fourth tab. It's labeled 50-30-20 budget. You'll see here on the left-hand side at the very top, there is a table for you to enter your monthly take-home pay. This is where you enter your monthly income after taxes, the amount that actually hits your bank account. And if you have a partner and you're budgeting together, there's a row where you can enter your partner's income after taxes as well. There's also rows below that for any side hustle income you might have. The actual column is what you actually receive. You fill this out when the money actually hits your account. And the estimate column is what you are expecting to receive based on income from previous months. The totals will be calculated automatically. And to the right side of this table, you'll see another table with the headline budget. In the first column of this table, you'll see the categories needs, wants, and savings, plus debt repayment. You'll also see here that we've pre-entered the percentages, 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt. You can change the percentage that you assign to your needs and the percentage that you assign to your savings and debt as you wish. The percentage assigned to wants, however, is calculated. You can't just put in whatever number you want. This wants percentage is automatically calculated by taking 100% minus the needs percentage minus the savings and debt percentage. And the amount column to the right of the percentages is also automatically calculated. It basically takes the percentages and multiplies them by your total income in the table to the left, so you know the exact amount of your income that you should be putting towards your needs, wants, and savings and debt repayments. So let's assume for this illustration that Morgan earns another $200 of net monthly income from overtime. We'll enter that here. This brings Morgan's total after-tax income from $3,800 to $4,000. And you'll see that the budget table to the right will automatically calculate what Morgan's new amounts are for her needs, wants, and savings and debt repayment. And if Morgan moves to a high cost of living area and has to increase her needs percentage from 50 to 60%, the amount that she has left for her wants will be reduced to 20%, or from $1,200 to $800. You'll also see here that the percentage for her savings and debt repayment has stayed the same at 20%. It has not been changed. Now, let's further assume that Morgan has a lot of debt and has to also increase the percentage that she has to allocate to savings and debt repayment. Say that she has to increase this from 20% to 30%. What you see here is that it now means she only has 10% left for her wants. So instead of $1,200 or even $800, she now only has $400 each month for her wants. And if you ever see a negative percentage here for wants, this means you're spending more than you make. This should be a blinking red signal to you that you're borrowing to make ends meet. In this case, you'll need to go through the percentages you've allocated for needs and savings and debt and bring them down until all the percentages in this column are positive again. You should also know that if you try to make changes to any of the calculations, say here in this box, this will pop up. If this happens and you still want to edit the spreadsheet and the formulas in there, click on Unprotect the Sheet and make the changes that you want to make. But make sure that you do this carefully. Now to do this, click on the OK button, go to the Review tab on the top, and click on Unprotect Sheet. And you can edit the formulas or the calculations as you see fit. It's best to make a copy of your work before unprotecting the sheet and changing any of the calculations in the protected cells. We can't promise you that everything in the template will still work properly after you've made your edits. So it'll be up to you to double check your formulas and make sure that everything in the spreadsheet is still working and calculating properly. And below these sections, as you can see, are additional tables with more detailed categories for your needs, wants, and savings plus debt repayments. You can break things down further if you want. So in the needs table, the categories are broken down further into mortgage or rent, utilities, cell phone, transportation, and so on. The wants table is below this. Now, because this section varies greatly from person to person, because all our wants are different, we've left the categories as other for you to complete on your own. And for the savings and debt table, we have various savings goals as well as different types of debt, such as student loans, credit card debt, personal loans, car payment, and so forth. Now, if you're thinking, I thought she said we don't have to break everything down to this level of detail, you're right. You don't have to do this. The details under the needs, wants, and savings and debt tables, they're completely optional. But completing your 50-30-20 budget in this level of detail with these tables on the bottom, it's a way of double checking. It will show you if the overall percentages you assign to each of the three buckets, to your needs, your wants, and your savings and debt repayment, whether these percentages are actually realistic and consistent. Let's show you what we mean by this. So if we look at Morgan again as an example, we see that she has allocated 50% of her budget to her needs, or $2,000. But when Morgan goes in and fills out the needs table in detail below, she finds that her needs actually total up to $3,000, which means, yeah, Morgan has a bit of a problem. She has to either increase her needs to 75% of her budget in this overall table on the top right, which will reduce what she has for her wants and savings and debt repayment. Or the other option is that Morgan has to move to a cheaper place or eat less expensively. If you find yourself in this situation like Morgan, take a look at our video right here. There are lots of tips there for saving smarter and lowering your expenses. So good luck creating your 50-30-20 budget with our template. If you have any questions along the way or find yourself stuck somehow, just shoot us an email at hello@diamondnestegg.com to see if we might be able to give your financial journey a bit of a boost. And keep in mind also, before you start any budgeting process, it's important to understand what your financial goals are. Figuring out how much to save is super tough if you have no idea what you're saving for, what your financial goals are. Financial goal setting is the first step of every budgeting process. So if you haven't sorted out your financial goals yet for 2021, take a look at our financial goal setting video right here. There's no better time to set your financial goals than right now. We'll walk you in this video through our simple 3-step goal setting process, as well as our free goal setting template that you can download via the link below this video. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned a ton. If you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel by hitting that button. Everyone's financial journey is different, and we'll do our best to educate you so that your financial journey is as smooth and stress-free as possible. So many of us set goals for the new year, and getting financially on track is nearly always on the top of the list. So join us again in a few days with another money-saving, wealth-building video. In the meantime, check out our other videos on this channel or shoot us an email at hello@diamondnestegg.com with any of the questions you might have.